I'm actually always looking for new ways to evolve what I'm doing, always looking to grow. Actually, today on my channel on YouTube, I actually put up a post, and this post was essentially announcing my desire to make that 3,000 hours that I'm required to have through streaming time on the YouTube community. Because I kind of wanted to share a little bit about my experience of being part of my channel, doing all my creations. And I thought I'd share that over the course of these last 3 years, I've probably invested maybe 10,000 hours of time, of work time, dedicated into all of the videos and productions and all this stuff that I created over this past 3 years, I'd say. And even before that, I spent lots and lots of hours. Actually, I'm gonna get up and move. Another change, perhaps. Anyways, I spent all this time on creating this channel, and during all of this time, I haven't really received money directly as a, you know, product of all the effort and all the creations that I have created, especially in the 3 years that I was with New Earth Creations. And so, anyways, I put up that post because I'm always looking for different ways to change things up and perhaps looking for a different way of doing things. And that's even what I'm doing right now. Is normally I record these afterthoughts and I record them with me being distant. And so I thought I would actually do an after hours to kind of, we'll call it reintroduce my podcast, Shone's Thoughts. See, because I don't know, I look at what is out there for people to share their attentions with. And I always say that attention is essentially one of our greatest tools. And where we place that attention is what we fund, what we focus on, what we energize, what we give our support so it can thrive. And so spending attention on one's thoughts, what they think about, how long they think about things, I think all of that stuff is super important. And so on Shone's Thoughts, I'm essentially realizing that what I'm here to share, or the reason why I'm sharing what I'm sharing and why I'm sharing with you right now, is this is simply a channel where, or a podcast, Shone's Thoughts specifically, that essentially discusses the things that I have thought about, that have come into my awareness. And that's reports from different people, lessons and understandings from different people, and essentially learning all of this stuff from all these different people. And sometimes that information is conflicting within what one person says and another person says. And yet being able to take through discernment what was the valuable parts of what I was learning about and what I could release and let go. And taking little bits of lessons from so many different people over the course of these past few years. When I listened to things like Steve Scott and Andrew Carnegie, or Dale Carnegie, I guess is the proper one. But anyways, learning about all these different self-help stuff, and then from self-help moving into self-mastery. And Shone's Thoughts is simply me discussing and exploring. I've been led to believe that sometimes what I say sounds like it is what is it happening, or is going on, or was the history. But yet this whole process that I'm personally on is all about exploring what could possibly be that's different from what we've been led to believe. Because the easiest thing that we could all agree on, perhaps, is that something is different than what we believed what was going on. That the life that we were told we would have at any point in time, whether it's when you get out of high school, when you get out of college, when you get out of work, when you get out of when you get to retirement, all these carrots down the road, that life wasn't necessarily what we're experiencing now. It's definitely not the way I would have ever imagined experiencing. Of course, it's everything is done by one's choice. Like, I played a part of my choice, and I recognize that, and that's okay. And essentially, that's the Sean's Thoughts podcast, is me just exploring the thoughts I had when I had them, and the information that I was essentially consuming, because we all consume information. We consume thoughts from other people. We consume stuff from the media. It's just what we actually utilize, perhaps. Like, that's what I always talk about, is we can listen to something, yet when we listen to it, having some sort of comment about it. And see, in the real world, if we would listen to something together with someone, like listen to a public speaker, we would talk about it after. We would reflect on it. We wouldn't leave that meeting with one idea of something. But when we listen to digital media, we don't have anyone to discuss it with after. And with that in mind, because I think it's discussion after consuming is important for the process of, utilizing the information rather than just consuming it and then letting it go, consuming it and letting go, if you really know what I mean. Anyways, so this podcast, and kind of like reintroducing myself to you, is I'm creating this podcast just to share all the different bits of information that I've learned from several different sources, and seeing how all that fits into our lives moving forward. And yeah, I apologize. I'm getting bit by so many mosquitoes, so I keep losing the thoughts of what I'm thinking. But I kind of wanted to not redo my intro video, but add on to it. Because see, one of the things that has changed is through spaced repetition, even with my own thoughts, me coming back to my thoughts, the person that I have when I say those thoughts in a new unit of time, I love that phrase. Thank you, Kevin. I'm not the same person, and neither are you. Every day that we wake up is a brand new day to be a brand new version of ourselves. And while that may seem hard for some to imagine, perhaps, many would probably desire to have something like that. And so that's kind of where I'm walking towards. In the article that I wrote about, or not wrote, but derived from my stuff about being a wayshore, that's kind of how I see this channel, is that I'm not here to tell anyone this is a belief system, let's all do it. I feel what I would like to see within my own reality, and maybe it just starts with me imagining it with you right now. Not worrying about how things are or how things look, or not worrying about, well, is it day or night? Like, do you see a beautiful sky out? Well, I see a very beautiful scene. And just for the sake of it, because I want to sit down again. Well, mosquitoes don't want me to sit down. They keep swarming me. So yeah, that's kind of what my podcast, Sean's Thoughts, is about. It's simply me, just talking and sharing the things that I've learned. Because I think that there's a lot out there that we're not fully aware of. And little by little, every day, we seem to becoming more aware of it. At least that's the story that I'm being sold through the media that I receive. And essentially, that's all I can do, is share that. And more every day, things are going to start actually being revealed as perhaps they truly are. Especially if you're seeing all the breadcrumbs, even in the mainstream media, about what things might be. So, yeah, anyways, I invite you to share your attention with any and all of the podcasts that I've created. I love the attention. And of course, like I said in that post, just by streaming the videos in the background, especially videos like the I4C series or the Illuminating Languages series, those ones, if you are able to just have them going off in the background while you go about your day, I feel they help with that. They help lift the environment. And yeah, just even that would definitely contribute to that 3,000 hour goal that I would love to crush. Like, I want to create a channel. Doesn't make us a worse country. Whoever is appointed will. Okay, thank you for that comment. I'll read it after and address it later. Yeah, anyways. I wonder, is that something to perhaps an older post? I'm not sure. I don't want to just gloss over it because I definitely, Rob Mack, I appreciate that you're commenting. Trump himself doesn't make us a worse country. Whoever is appointed doing the work of destroying us anyway. It's the machine, not the position. Yeah, most definitely. That sounds quite accurate. But I'm from Canada, just so you're aware, so I can't say that I'm saying that, but the point is, and I guess I've talked about it in a lot of my audios, is that we look at the world and there definitely is a structure which is above what we would perceive as government. And whether we call that corporation or we call that, well, whatever we want to call it, royal families, elites, whoever it is, there is definitely a structure above that, above what we see as governments. And so you can't necessarily pin the point, but I feel that, when we talk about sometimes how media wants us to become angry, that they'll purposely maybe even do things to tick us off. So purposely get one of these people that are supposedly leading us to do things to get us frustrated, to bring down our vibration, so therefore we can... sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So that we can contribute to keeping us all ourselves down. Because if we're always so focused on what they're doing or they're saying, then we're not necessarily focused on what's best for us. Because we only have so much attention. Attention being like currency, we choose where to spend it. Yeah, well, that's kind of the same thing, Rob, about that. It's like they put that stuff out there and then we just focus our attention on it. And some of us are like, oh, whatever. But other people are like really into it and they share so much attention. So they invest so much attention on things like that. But in a reality, who cares? That's kind of how I would look at that story, is it doesn't really matter what he's doing or whatever she's doing. They can go off and be in Wonderland or wherever, but we have a certain amount of attention. And a person that, such as me, who goes to coffee shops, I listen often about what people are talking about in the coffee shop, and there's so much discussion about things that there could be more of that attention redirected in something that would be beneficial and helpful. But anyways, I'm sorry, I'm going completely off, but yeah, I totally appreciate you connecting with me, essentially, Rob. Anyways, I'm going to call it there. This is me doing something different. And as I said, posting that whole campaign on YouTube, the little post that said, I got 857 hours and I'm looking to get to 3,000. So if there's any express trains to get there, people who want to just put the videos on, fall asleep, wake up, put the video back on, fall asleep, I'm just joking. I definitely. Are you in BC? Yes, I am in BC. Yeah, so definitely I'm making changes to grow this, because if you listen to the videos that I talk about, I have some really interesting plans, and they're more thought plans, like they're things to get the conversation started, perhaps in a very deep sense, but proposals almost of many different things that we could do collectively as a world. And not necessarily that we'd have to do any of them, but maybe just the thought of adding that to the conversation would therefore put the potential in there for some people, whoever it is, that actually want to do it. Maybe they'll have the opportunity if we can get it into the eyes and ears and hearts of different people. Like that 5-day adventure course, that would be an amazing, amazing idea to work towards, work with a large group of people to do. And if not that, just even something as small as a healing center. And these are all different projects that I kind of wanted to create with the Patreon community. There could be participation for some people in the form of only monetary amounts, and then there could be participation of other people outside of that. And that's why I created that free, is so that people can join for free and just be part of a community that is really looking just simply to make things better for everyone involved. And if we look at like governance, future governance going forward, maybe we could find a new way. There's that saying, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you've got. And that was taught to me by Kevin. And it really does show us that if we're just going to keep accepting the way that our lives are, and being content, yet still wanting more, well, we need to do something different. And like I said, maybe for me, it was holding the camera this time and walking around. It's kind of cool too. The background moves. Anyways, I want to thank Rob Mack for so much for connecting, and I appreciate that, Rob. And I look forward to reading more comments and hitting that 3,000 mark. Not necessarily for the money, but just as a sign of growth, and a sign as let's hit 4,000 right after it. If we can do that, then we can crush and bring together a community that is essentially looking to make our world better. And I'm here just to share the information that I've had, that I've come across with you, like bring it all together through my eyes, my lens, I guess you could say. And then, of course, I'm fully open to talking about sources and where information is learned. And, if I can remember, I usually post a video, or at least I did. I'd love to get back to citing sources. Nonetheless, they're also just my thoughts, and they aren't the end all, the answer all to everything. They are just things that I'm learning about. And in your busy day, rather than you having to go through a whole bunch of stuff, I can share what I've learned. And that's partly to do the Paul Selig stuff, the book, to do with so many amazing, wonderful, high vibrational stuff. So if you haven't seen that video, I Am the Word, there's a lot of wisdom in those books, regardless of what the religious part of it is. The actual wisdom of those books is phenomenal. So I definitely invite you to come and journey on that podcast with me as well. It's also part of the Shone's Thoughts universe, or omniverse, or whatever it is. Anyways, thank you so much. You have a wonderful night, and isn't that beautiful?